Have you ever heard anyone say, don't work a second job, you'll pay a fortune in tax? Well, I'm going to revisit this myth today and completely debunk it. Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rushock and we're back talking about second jobs and how the tax implications actually work. So I did a video on this, I think it was a couple of years ago now, but I want to revisit the topic because I know it's a controversial one. People get really stressed about it and sometimes it can make people make really bad financial decisions. So a lot of my focus today is going to be about the tax-free threshold, and that is really the only difference between working one job, two jobs, or seven jobs. Is the tax-free threshold, whether you're claiming it or whether you aren't, and how that impacts you, and why that is the only thing that matters, and why there isn't this mysterious second job tax. But at a real simple level, yes, it's worth it. Anytime that you're working more hours and you're earning more money, you're nearly always going to be in a better financial position overall. Now, there are some other weird factors that may play into it, HECS debts, or maybe it's child support, or maybe you're close to the Medicare levy surcharge. But in general, anytime you're earning more money, you'll never pay as much tax as what you've earned. If you earn $100, you're never going to pay $120 in tax, for instance. That's at the basic level. So therefore, working a second job is always going to put you in a better financial position than only working one. Now, whether it's worth it from your time point of view or what you're sacrificing elsewhere, that's a whole nother story. So where does this myth come from that working a second job is going to be worse for you? You're just going to pay a fortune in tax and it's not worth it. Well, it all comes down to the tax-free threshold. And it all comes down to when you're working one job, you'll likely be claiming the tax-free threshold, which gives you the lower rate of tax withholding. And the reason for the lower rate is our tax tables. So as you can see here, the first $18,200 is tax-free. So therefore, if you're earning less than that across the year, then you shouldn't have any tax withheld because there'll be no tax payable at the end of the year. Now, once you start going over that and the tax rates start kicking in, they start low and then they eventually get higher. But obviously you've still got that tax-free portion at the start. So when you click this tax-free threshold box where you tick it in the old method, you're going to be getting a lower rate of withholding because it's trying to work out how much tax should you actually pay, taking into account that first $18,200 being tax-free and then the next lot at a lower tax rate. So it's trying to incorporate all that, and that's how they've come up with these rates so that over the year, if you continue to earn that same amount weekly, you should have the right amount of tax withheld. Now, what happens if you start working a second job? Well, if you start on a second job and you tick the tax-free threshold again, all of a sudden you've got this lower rate of withholding at two jobs. But these jobs aren't talking to each other. So they're both assuming that you can earn $18,200 tax-free from them. So all of a sudden you don't have enough tax withheld. So this is why the ATO allow you to not tick that and have a higher rate of withholding on multiple jobs, because then you're not claiming this tax-free threshold multiple times and you're actually going to hopefully get a closer, more accurate rate of tax withheld across the two jobs throughout the year. Now, before I get into the examples, I'm getting in early here because this video is coming out in 2022. But my goal for 2023 is to get to 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do it because it's really going to help me get towards that goal. I appreciate your support and let's get back into the video. So this is where people start to go, the second job, I'm paying a fortune in tax. So let's just look at a couple examples here. So for instance, say you earn $100 a week from the second job. If you tick the tax-free threshold, there'd be no tax withheld. But if you don't claim it, you're going to have $20 withheld. So with the tax-free threshold, we'd earn $100 from our employment and we'd have $0 of tax withheld, so we'd still be left with $100 in the pocket. Now, if we look at the no tax-free threshold, we would earn that $100, but $20 of tax would be withheld. So we'd only end up with $80. And this is where people start to go, well, why am I getting taxed so much? I wouldn't have paid any tax on that. But this will all just go into your end of year return. All your income, all your tax gets all lumped in and it all gets calculated at once. So there's no extra tax because it's a second job. It's just the withholding might be higher because of that tax-free threshold box. Now, obviously $20 doesn't seem like much, but let's look at an example where we're earning more. And we're earning now $1,000 on this second job. So we would earn $1,000 and pay $162 of tax if we were claiming the tax-free threshold, which would give us $838 in the hand. Now, if we aren't claiming it, so maybe it is our second job, that $1,000 gets reduced by $283 in tax, so we only get $717. So we're now at a $121 difference. So you can see people start to go, gee, I'm getting taxed a lot more because I'm earning more and I'm doing this second job and it just gets too stressful for them. But what you have to remember is you've still got $717. So you're still in a better off financial position than if you didn't have that extra income. And the extra tax is there for a reason. It's because your income is likely going to be higher overall. So if you're working one job and you're earning $40,000 and the other job you're earning $30,000, you're going to end up with $70,000 of taxable income. So obviously you're going to need more tax withheld than if you were taxed on just $40,000. So understanding that and knowing that it will all come around at the end. There isn't a second job tax. There isn't a third job tax. Yes, you will likely have a higher rate of withholding, but it is there for a reason, and it's because your total taxable income is likely going to be higher. I hope you found that video helpful. What topic do you want me to cover next? Leave a comment down below, and I'll talk to you again on the next video.